What's up guys, Jackson here from the Toaster Bros, and today we're going to be throwing it back to a little bit of a classic video segment I used to do. So this is going to be the pickups of the week / month. Don't even remember exactly what it was called, but I'm just going to be showing you things that I've picked up or acquired recently from different stores. It can be tech related, it can be non-tech related, just things that I think are really cool and you guys might like. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so first item, which is one of the favorite things that I've picked up recently, is this Earthquake, which is a Harborfreight series. Whether you like Harborfreight or not, whether you think they're cheap or not, this was about $100, but I think I got it on sale for like 80 after the 25% off coupon. But this thing though is actually really freaking awesome. It's basically modeled after an Ingersoll Rand, kind of like compact half-inch gun, and it took almost the same exact design. I don't remember which one it was, but you can look it up. It's basically modeled or copied off after that, if you want to say that, because I can admit Ingersoll's a really good brand, so I can't really, say, oh, get the cheap one, but this one does perform pretty darn good, and it's 550 foot-pounds for even how tiny it is. It only weighs 2.7 pounds, as you can see, and it's 35% more compact than, I'm going to assume, competitors that are of equal foot-pounds of torque. So in the case, it comes with a little carrying case for it, like a little mesh bag. That's really of no use to you if you're a mechanic, because what's the point of having that? It came with the little plug. It does not actually come with the fitting you need, because a lot of different compressors can use different types of fittings. I don't remember the specific types. It also came with a little bit of oil, and the instructions, that's pretty much it. So like I said, for about $100, this really does beat the price of other competitors though, for sure. It's half-inch, 550 foot-pounds, and you can see just how stubby this thing is. I mean, it's tiny compared to a normal gun. Like if you look at a normal gun that's pretty compact, it's a half-inch, they usually come out to about here. So especially if you're trying to get into tight spaces, if you're a mechanic, you've definitely had this before, then this is a really good gun for that. And I've tested it out already on a wheel bearing and like just lug nuts, and I mean it takes them off just zip zap like so quickly, like it's no problem at all. So I really need to test on something that's actually maybe torqued down to something that close, or is rusted to where it's actually has that amount of torque needed for it. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next item. Alright, so next up is another Harborfreight item, and I promise this is not going to all be Harborfreight, don't worry. This one's a Pittsburgh 13-piece deep impact socket set. I think this was like 20 bucks maybe. The reason I'm showing it to you guys though is because it's actually designed for an impact gun. So one of the standards, I actually got it at the same time I got this. And no, I've only used one of these bits, and I think that was, or sockets, and I think that was like a 14mm. I used it on a lawnmower to get the blade off to sharpen it. But that's besides the point. These things came really dirty is what I was trying to get at. They're like powder coated, or actually black phosphate finish, which I assumed was some type of powder coating. It says they're chrome vanadium, which who cares? It's like what everything's made out of. It's nothing special. They're 6-point sockets though, and they're deep well, and they're like, this thing's heavy as hell. But you can see this thing goes up to a really big size. It goes all the way up to a 32mm. So that is a really big socket size, and I don't think you're gonna get anything much bigger than that. It goes 32, 30, and then it has all the other main sizes. It's quite a few sockets you'll need though. I mean, it goes all the way down to 10, all the way up to 32mm. So you have quite a bit of deep well sockets. They're super heavy duty, so you can use them with the one of the Earthquake guns, or you could use it with like a half-inch breaker bar or something else like that. Alright, next up is a laser thermal thermometer, or an infrared thermometer as they call it. Sorry, I tried to make it sound a little more fancy than it is. Now, this is a Harborfreight laser pointer gun, which actually shows you temps from basically distances far away. So for anyone who's not familiar with it, it uses infrared light, and it uses like a few different sensors inside of here. I'm not really exactly sure how it works. I know the laser comes right out of here, as you can see, and then nothing comes out of here. There might be some type of infrared light that you can't see that comes out of there, but it basically bounces back into it and somehow reads the temperature. Long story short, you could change it to Fahrenheit or Celsius. Now this thing's actually really useful though, for especially stuff like the mineral computer, for example. As far as accuracy goes, it's not super accurate for sure. Sorry, that was really weird grammar. It's not incredibly accurate. I'd say it's usually about 5 5 Fahrenheit and under as far as accuracy. So it can go from anywhere to 0 Fahrenheit off all the way up to like 5 Fahrenheit off from what I've noticed. It depends on what object you're shining at though. Some objects are really hard for the laser to pick up, especially if they're like reflective. I got this from Goodwill, but it is Harbor Freight. So I'm kind of wrong about the whole not being Harbor Freight everything. I'm just going to call this video Harbor Freight pickups now, because I might as well. So I got this from Goodwill though, which I guess doesn't make it much better, but I only paid 20 bucks for it, and for the price I got it for, it's like, why not? And I know the price tag here says 30, but I actually talked them down to 20. Originally one of these is 60 bucks new. Now this one was brand new, but the problem was, because it still had like a lot of the packaging on it, so if it wasn't brand new, then it was barely used. Whoever had it before, this adjustment knob leaked to the point to where the compressor it didn't even have enough time to fill up before it was already leaking out. So what I did was I went through and I think I ended up having to use a little bit of JB Weld on a little crack that was in the plastic in here, and that actually fixed it. So that's all I had to do. I got a little hose for it. I think it's like a 20-foot hose, but it compresses into the little bendy hose that can kind of be annoying, but kind of cool at the same time that it can get so much more length out of it. And it's a 3-gallon compressor at 1/3 of a horsepower. Now it takes like maybe 3 minutes to fill up, 2 or 3 minutes. It doesn't really take too long compared to my big 21-gallon compressor over there. It's like 2.5 horsepower. So it's definitely really good for like the small projects when you don't want a lot of noise filling up the ginormous compressor. It takes like 5 minutes. So it works great for like the little blowgun, especially if you have a computer that gets dusty a lot. If you have multiple computers, even a business, this can come in really good use if you don't want to buy all that canned air, using like $5 per canned air that you get, when you can buy one of these for 30 bucks and you can find one used, and then put a little blowgun nozzle attachment on the end. And not to forget, you can add all sorts of different guns and nozzles to these. Like you can actually even use this impact with it. I actually already used the impact with it once and it worked. It is 100 psi. Now you can't use it constantly. You can use it to get bolts off single at a time before it has to refill, and to be able to keep up with it. And there's other small things you can use it with, like airbrush sprayers and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a multi-tool. You can use it for a lot of different things, and not to forget like airing up your tires and all that. And then my last pickup, which this is not actually too recent, I just know you guys haven't met him yet. This is my turtle. So yeah, this is actually my garage turtle, so I consider him now. He's just he chills in the garage. I have his whole entire setup going here. So this is actually a Toasty Cribs Turtle Edition. You can see he has these lights here. One of them is a UVB light, and that's to keep his shell healthy and like protein and stuff. And the other one's obviously like a basking light. He has a little house or hut that he can hide under, which he does use a lot, and then one that he can get on top of to get out of the water. He's actually really interactive. Like you can make him follow your finger sometimes. I don't know if I'll do it right now. Yeah, you can kind of see he's going for it. He does bite too. He didn't used to do it when he was really small. She's still really small. You can see him compared to my hand. He's a pretty small turtle. His breed is like a yellow ear slider or a red belly slider or something like that. There's a few different ones that are pretty much the same, and he kind of is related to any of them, whatever you want to call him. So I'm not really too sure. His name's actually Oliver, and I take pretty good care of him though. He has his own little filter and everything, which actually needs to be cleaned right now. It's a little dirty looking. But I usually clean his tank about once every week or two. Right now I think I'm coming up on week 2, so I'm going to clean it soon. I have these little filters that I put in there. But yeah, this is, I figured I'd conclude the video with something awesome like this little turtle. So he's pretty fun. I get him out every so often and let him play around in the grass and whatnot and frolic. But I think he lives a fairly happy life, He's I've had him since he was a baby, since he was like tiny, like this big, would like fit in your hand. And I remember, this is actually a 20-gallon tank, by the way. He started off in this right here, to give you an idea on how much he grew. And this was actually pretty much big enough for him, at least for like the first week. And then after that, he just kind of grew. And I've had him for probably 4 or 5 months now, maybe even 6, close to 6. So I've had him for quite a while. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and Oliver hopes you enjoy the video too. He definitely approves of Toasty Bros, and we'll see you guys later.